Welcome to All Things Social Security. Enjoy your video. Good morning and happy Sunday. This is the Sunday Social Security Roundup, and this will be for this past week, which is, my goodness, December 8th until I believe December 13th. So this is what we had last week. If you missed anything, feel free to jump in there and look at it based on the date that I say it came on, and then you'll just find it. That way you don't have to listen to all of them, just pick the ones you may be interested in. All right, so let's get to it. On the 8th, we had the fifth segment of the series for mental health claimants that has to do with doing the function report from a mental health claimant point of view. And that's the fifth one out of 10. So they are called something along the lines of, it'll say like tip number, tip and then number whatever of the series. So this one would be number 5, series continued, function report for mental health claim, part 5 of 10. So all of them are called the same thing, just with the differing number, if that makes it any easier to locate, if that's what you wanted to do. On Tuesday, we had a little ditty about, it was a particular claimant who was discussing some real post-hearing questions he or she had about some of the vocational expert goings on at the hearing and just some confusion about, questions about it. And we kind of got into that a little bit. Whoops. And that was the 9th. We had accidentally another one on the 9th. Supposed to only do one a day. This one was a ditty about medications and their very important role in your claim. So you're never going to want to not pay attention to medications at all in your case. You want to actually use them rather astutely in your case. On the 10th, this was the series section number 6 of the function report for the mental health claim individual. That was the 10th. So that would be what? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That was Thursday. We did have also, by the way, on Wednesday, we had the 1:00 p.m. live stream on all things Social Security. It was a little comical because I got a new computer system. I have my old, I have my new. I kind of have I look like a scientist workshop in here. And I couldn't get the sound on. We went out about it for like 20 minutes. And then I kind of got my headphones and then somehow it hooked up. I don't know why. I don't know if there's something you have to do. I'm so non-techie. But anyway, we got it figured out. And on the replay that came out on Thursday, which is on the 9th we had 2. Sorry. And then Thursday would be the 10th, right? Wait, Monday, Tuesday. No, that was Wednesday. Okay. Tuesday we had the double that I mentioned. Then we had the 10th that would be Wednesday. That's when number 6 of the series came out for the function report for the mental health. The 11th was the replay of the live stream. I believe cut out is all the BS about, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And me trying to figure it out. And I took a little sabbatical to try to figure it out too and said, we'll come back in 15 minutes. I don't think it took 15 minutes at that point, but it was frustrating to say the least. But anyway, that's all been carved out. And then we went on for another like 2.5 hours. It was a really long Q&A. Some people popped in late in the end, and I, against my my directions from my people, took the questions anyway because I can't help myself. So anyway, it was always fun as always. Great crowd. I love you guys. Friday was the Friday Fraud Law Review. This one was terrible. This is about a Missouri man who tortured, I call it tortured, kept him in a room, didn't properly feed him, hygiene him, whatever, his disabled veteran uncle, and took his benefits, 1.6 million apparently. And of course, when the uncle passed away, did he report it? Did he do anything proper with the body? Listen and find out. Of course, it's coming from the OIG, these fraud law reviews, and they don't give a lot of details. I can't imagine that wouldn't be in a regular paper though, someplace. I mean, it's horrible. It's just so inhumane. And I'm curious to see what the skank who did it, what kind of sentence he will get. And if it's bad enough that you stole the money, you also abused, neglected this person under your care. I don't think you should be seeing the day of light. Personally, I think you should probably get the death penalty, but I know some people are against the death penalty, just not me. Okay. The 13th, which was yesterday, this was a share about Medicare. It was a Q&A and discussion of when you're able to get it once you win your SSD case, not SSI. Alrighty, that's what we have for the week, guys. It was a busy week. We're in December 2025, so we're heading towards Christmas. It is Sunday the 14th. In a little bit, I am Mrs. Santa Claus, along with my husband, who is Santa. And at least my daughter is coming as a helper to Santa, but we volunteer at our local American Legion every year. My husband is a Santa. It's been, I don't know, 12, 13 years now. Prior to that, they had to pay somebody. So obviously we don't do that. And it's just always a nice time. All the little kiddos, all the little veterans and grandparents and their grandchildren, and everybody gets a gift. And my kids used to be the little kids there partaking, and they never knew that their dad was the Santa that they were sitting on his lap. So since you can only partake at 10 and under, when they hit the age where they couldn't, my daughter was first. We had to break it to her that Dad's Santa's helper himself, because Santa can't be everywhere. And he actually needs a helper. So then she became Santa's helper, helping give out the presents and all that, helping get the kids up to Santa's lap and all that business. And then we had to break it to my son a few years after that. He might have been a little resentful that we were honest with him. I don't know. But since then, we've all, the four of us, including a friend, if one of the kids had a good friend that wanted to partake, could partake too as a Santa's helper. And we've been doing it that way ever since. This year, I think I'm kind of upset about it. My son has to work. He does retail, retail of food. So you can't really take off. And as my husband said in a text last night, you can't afford not to have your job. So you're excused if you have to be, basically. And I guess I kind of agree with that too. I rock the boat on the job. So anywho, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you're having a great weekend, and I hope the rest of your Sunday is fabulous. I believe mine will be just as fabulous as well. And I hope to see you next week. Feel free to post any questions you might want a video on under any video you see on the daily, the daily videos. Any which way like that is most appropriate. And I will definitely see if I can do it. All right. Have a good one, guys. Thanks again. It's still Sunday. Did you miss last week's Social Security roundup? Not this week that you just heard, but the one prior to that, and want to catch up? I'm attaching it now. Have a great day. Bye. Happy Sunday. It's the Sunday Social Security roundup. I'm sorry, I'm really late today. It's already after 3 Eastern Standard Time. However, I got a little wrapped up this week, so it's been a crazy week, and I'll let you know in a second. So we're just going to go over last week's videos that came out in case you missed, and there's been a few glitches in there, so I'll let you know about those too. On Monday was the 2nd. This is the December 1st, and it goes to yesterday, December 7th. What we're about to just replay here. On Monday, the December 1st, it was the second part of what I believe is a 10-part function report sequence of short videos for function report, particularly with regard to mental health conditions and symptoms, if they play a role in preventing you from doing all jobs or some jobs even. On Tuesday, December 2nd, this was a little ditty, kind of out of the blue, but as I was thinking about my own tax situation as a self-employed person, what other people, self-employed and W-2s, have to concern themselves with, particularly self-employed people, because this is when you can, if you're going to have business expenses, now's the time to buy them or spend the money on them if you need them, if you want them, if you want to have, if they're legitimate IRS write-offs for your business, et cetera, et cetera. And it also explains how you might not want to do that. So take a look, see, this is all about, largely about being under SGA, or it could be TWP, I suppose, in certain circumstances, if you have a pending claim and are working self-employed and or kind of W-2, or you're already a beneficiary and you're availing yourself of your right to still work and all that, as long as you continue to be within certain very finite and some more nebulous parameters for doing that. So it's clear that you still remain disabled from full-time work, despite the fact that you're doing some sort of work. So that was Tuesday the 2nd. Wednesday, we had the 3rd in the function report for mental health claims, the 3rd video of the series of 10. That was on the 3rd. On the 4th, we had the replay. And we did have it. Looks like that came out on time. That's good. Of the Wednesday live stream that we had after our 12 noon typical recorded daily video. So the replay of that with some of the scrolling silences carved out of it are there for you if Q&As and the responses are of interest to you, all with regards to Social Security. Oh yeah, this is a little glitch. You know, like we only like to put out one video a day, tops. Accidentally put out 2 because the replay came out. But you know, we never know if the replay is going to get out on time because it depends on how timely it processes the live stream. So I've seen it go really fast, like it did, I think, this time, but sometimes it doesn't. And however this happened, a different video that would come out on Thursday if the replay wasn't ready, somehow was still coming out. So that was like a 2 for day. And that was a ditty about, oh yeah, someone might have asked about this. Understanding DLI. Let me see if I can see the whole thing. Yeah, date last insured and its importance to you. So we do a little rehash on that. Super, super, super important. What else we got? That was the 4th. So this, yeah. So, no, yeah, okay. So I'm getting my days mixed up. So looks like Friday was the 5th. And another glitch, Friday Fraud Law Review did not come out. My apologies. It's all ready to go. Just hadn't been somehow turned on. So everybody got a break from me on Friday. I know that's awesome. Saturday was the 6th, not the 7th. Today's the 7th. Okay, see, I'm getting my days all mixed up. That's what happens when you often work all 7 of them, right? December 6th was the 4th video of the series for the function report for mental health claims or conditions. So again, function report is often interpreted as purely physical, and it does appear to be that way, but it really isn't. And we give there's 10 in this little video that was chopped up into 10 just so nobody had to sit through this more than 10 minutes or so at a time. And it goes into some of the things to think about in each question if the mental challenges work in that way for you. So you just kind of want to go through it all, and it'll give you some ideas on what you're really going to want to focus on when you do the function report if you have a mental health condition. If you have a physical, you're going to have to get those in there too. So it's kind of like double whammy. But people tend to really not think of these things when they do the mental health type of condition with the function report. All right, so that's it, guys. That was the week. Week coming up, I don't even know. I can't even read it. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great week. If I haven't said so before, I hope you did have a great week behind us. Have had a great weekend and have a wonderful week coming up. And I hope you get a chance to enjoy the Christmas season and the reason for the season. I know it gets really commercial, so let's hopefully we can all learn to tone that part down and just focus a little bit more on the reason for the season. All right. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye-bye.